A gentle breeze stirred the dust on the long, winding road as two figures walked, their heads bowed in sorrow. They were Cleopas and his companion, and their hearts were heavy with the weight of shattered dreams. Just 3 days earlier, they had watched their hopes crucified on a hill outside Jerusalem. They had followed Jesus of Nazareth, believing he was the promised Messiah, the one who would redeem Israel. Now he was gone, and their world had crumbled. As they walked, a stranger drew near and joined them, his face kind and his stride purposeful. "What are you discussing so intently?" he asked, his voice calm and clear. Cleopas, his eyes filled with tears, looked at the stranger. "Are you the only visitor to Jerusalem who doesn't know the things that have happened there in these days?" The stranger's gaze was full of a knowing compassion. "What things?" he asked, prompting them. And so they poured out their grief. They told him about Jesus, a prophet mighty in deed and word before God and all the people. They recounted how the chief priests and rulers had handed him over to be condemned to death and had crucified him. They spoke of their desperate hope, the hope that had now died with him. And they confessed their confusion, for some women among them had gone to his tomb early that morning and found it empty. They had even seen a vision of angels who said he was alive, but they couldn't grasp it. The stranger listened patiently, his silence a soothing balm to their troubled spirits. Then he began to speak, and his words were like a fire igniting in their souls. "O foolish ones and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Was it not necessary that the Christ should suffer these things and enter into his glory?" He started with Moses and continued through all the prophets, explaining to them the scriptures concerning himself. He showed them how the story of God's people was a tapestry woven with threads of suffering and triumph, a story that culminated not in a throne but in a cross. As he spoke, their heavy burdens began to lift. The familiar words of the prophets, once a collection of disconnected promises, now clicked into place, revealing a breathtaking narrative of God's redemptive plan. The sorrow in their hearts began to give way to a flicker of something new, a faint, trembling hope. They arrived at the village of Emmaus, and the sun was setting. The stranger made as if he would go on, but they urged him, "Stay with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is now far spent." He agreed, and they entered the house. At the table he took the bread, gave thanks, broke it, and gave it to them. In that simple, familiar act, their eyes were opened. The way he broke the bread, the memory of that Last Supper they had heard about, it was him. The stranger was Jesus. In that instant, they knew with absolute certainty that he was not just a memory, but a living reality. And then, as suddenly as he had appeared, he vanished from their sight. They were left in stunned silence, a whirlwind of emotions coursing through them. Cleopas turned to his companion, his face no longer etched with grief, but with a radiant joy. "Did not our hearts burn within us while he talked to us on the road? While he opened to us the scriptures?" The question was not a question at all, but a declaration of a miracle. The burning in their hearts had been the presence of the living God. Immediately they rose up and returned to Jerusalem, their exhaustion forgotten. They found the 11 apostles and those who were with them gathered together. "The Lord has risen indeed," the disciples exclaimed, for Simon Peter had seen him. And Cleopas and his companion told them everything, how Jesus had appeared to them on the road, and how he had been made known to them in the breaking of the bread. The story of the road to Emmaus is a testament to the power of hope, and the truth that faith is not a relic of the past, but a vibrant present reality. It reminds us that even in our darkest moments, when our hopes are shattered and we walk in the shadows of despair, Jesus walks with us. He is not a distant memory or a historical figure, but a compassionate friend who draws near to our sorrow, opens our eyes to his truth, and sets our hearts on fire with his living presence. It's a call to look beyond our broken dreams and see the greater, more beautiful story of redemption that is unfolding. A story where even the end is just the beginning.